You open your streaming app and are immediately hit with thousands of hours of prestige television. There are sprawling sci-fi epics, dense historical dramas, and critically acclaimed miniseries, all competing for your attention. But after 5 minutes of scrolling, many of us bypass the new art entirely to click play on the same sitcom we've already watched from start to finish 4 times. Biologically speaking, this preference for the familiar contradicts our basic evolution. The human brain is wired to hunt for novelty, rewarding us with dopamine whenever we acquire new information about our environment. So when presented with an infinite buffet of new stories and unexplored worlds, why do millions of people actively select a narrative where they already know exactly how every joke lands and every plot resolves? The preference for the familiar is often framed as a sign of intellectual inertia or a lack of cultural curiosity. In reality, clicking play on Season 4, Episode 1 serves a specific biological purpose. It is a targeted way to manage finite mental resources and navigate the psychological demands of the modern day. Daily life is saturated with unpredictable variables. You navigate traffic detours, shifting workplace deadlines, and sudden unexpected social obligations from the moment you wake up. Our evolutionary threat detection systems process this constant uncertainty as a literal danger. The brain stays on high alert to keep you safe from the unknown. Starting a brand new television show extends this high alert state. You have to map out complex new social hierarchies and judge the trustworthiness of unfamiliar faces on the screen. You are constantly calculating risks and trying to predict where the narrative will take you next. Psychologists refer this mental friction as cognitive load. After a long day of navigating real-world variables, processing all this new fictional data rapidly depletes the day's remaining mental energy. When you put on a familiar episode, the load drops. You enter a state known as processing fluency. Your brain coasts, taking in information without the exhausting work of deciphering new threats or solving narrative puzzles. Because you know exactly how the conflict resolves, your gut response shuts off. You have placed yourself in a mental space where every variable is fixed and every outcome is certain. That sense of safety extends beyond the plot and right into the characters themselves. The screen becomes a secure social environment. We form what are called parasocial relationships. Our evolutionary wiring cannot easily distinguish between the physical humans sitting next to us and the recurring faces we see on a screen. We register these characters as a familiar tribe. Unlike real people, these fictional friends are locked in time. They offer a unique emotional security because they will never suddenly change their personalities or betray your expectations. Maintaining real-world relationships requires immense energy, involving social anxiety and constant emotional demands. Returning to these characters satisfies our biological need for belonging, while bypassing the social tax required by real-world interaction. We often feel a pang of guilt when we scroll past 10 critically acclaimed dramas just to click on the comedy we watched last week. Looking at how our neurology handles stress frames this decision differently. This choice reflects a prioritization of mental recovery over information gathering. By opting for the familiar, you are engaging in a targeted form of emotional regulation. You are lowering your cognitive load to reset your brain's baseline. When reality feels entirely out of your hands, a rewatch restores a sense of order. The familiar pilot episode acts as a bridge back to equilibrium, providing the stability required to handle the friction of an unpredictable world tomorrow.